Welcome everybody to our virtual community conversation focused on kind of County 81, so the middle portion of our project. Like I said, we'll start off just kind of walking through the presentation. We have some information about our station study areas, our schedule, and some visualizations of how LRT could fit into your communities. And after that, it'll just be time for question and answers. Please feel free to put information in the chat as we go, and that'll kind of be the thing. So just to give a little bit of background, this is our overall project study area. So in Brooklyn Park, we have kind of our project designed, and it just more or less can stay the way it is with some updates as we go. The middle section, which is the discussion tonight, is that the route is kind of confirmed on County Road 81, and we just need to figure out a lot of the details and work with the community to advance design and whatnot. And then in our lower port in the Minneapolis area, we have a couple route options and multiple link options. We kind of have to work our way through that. So the blue line is part of our overall metro system. So if you get on a station in Robinsdale or Crystal, you can connect all the way down to Mall of America, the airport, anywhere, Lake Street along the line, as well as within the blue line itself. Or you can transfer trains and get across our region. So part of just improving transit for our region and having fast, frequent, reliable service that you don't need to schedule for, and just hop on and get where you need to go almost any part of the day. So where our project is, we're in the process of identifying a community-supported alignment. So kind of back to that map, we had a project before, and after negotiations with the railroads really stalled out, it was time to make the decision to move forward and find a new solution. So that solution finding path is what we're doing this year, kind of maybe even into early next year. But that doesn't stop our project development process. We'll still need a couple years to advance our environmental documents and clear basically and disclose all the stuff that we have along these new routes. And then just kind of get plans ready for design and construction. And so kind of getting those engineering plans up to speed, and that takes a little bit of time as well. And so after we're in construction, it'll be another 3 to 4 years to kind of build everything and test and install systems and all that kind of stuff. So if everything goes kind of speedily through all of those steps, we had hoped to open the line in 2028. So that gives an overall feel of what to expect. So still this year, kind of working on the details, and you can expect us to kind of come back for additional conversation as we go. So since some new folks joined, just let you know, we're kind of going through a presentation. Feel free to put questions in the chat. We'll have time for discussion at the end as well. So next up, I just want to give people some background on our station study areas and what we're looking at with those. So kind of to the schedule that I was speaking about before, this is kind of our first blush at where we would place stations. So we need to start getting that community feedback about are these placed in the right location? Do they feel like the right number? Kind of how all that fits together. And so just kind of expect continuing discussion on this topic as we refine and progress this process. So we have these new station study areas. How did we kind of place them? And so what we looked at is we thought about the previous planned stations along the alignment. So for this conversation today, 63rd and Crystal, or Bass Lake Road in Crystal and 63rd and Brooklyn Park, we're areas that were part of our alignment already. And so trying to just like scooch things over out of the freight rail right away to make that work. And then, as we get down in the Robinsdale, serving downtown Robinsdale, all that kind of stuff. So we'll show a map of that, but really just thinking about the areas that we were serving before and how these next round of station placements could continue to do the same. We asked the community about where they want to go. We asked a lot about key destinations and desired station locations. So both where folks told us they want to go and the things that we identified as key destinations and major generators of other employment or housing were part of our part of what we considered when we put together our station study areas. We also thought about transit connections, because it's all about regional connectivity and the ability to get around town on transit. The overall spacing of our stations, so that 1 to half mile kind of range about. You know, in the urban areas, you might space a little bit closer, and as you get further out, you might space a little bit more further apart. And the overall number of stations, so kind of how that whole project fits together. The final number hasn't been determined, but we just kind of have our first blush. So with that, I'll focus on our middle section, but just want to give everybody a little bit of an idea of what else is in the picture. So like I said, our Brooklyn Park stations on West Broadway can more or less stay the same. We can preserve that piece of the project as it is. And so we have 4 stations in that area that serve education, business, and residential areas. For our discussion today, and the focus of why many of you are probably here, there was 4 stations along, proposed right now, kind of along County Road 81. And you'll see on our map that some bubbles are smaller, where some of our station study areas are longer. We need about 300 feet to place a station platform. And so there's kind of like multiple options or multiple locations that we might place some of them. And so that's kind of representing the distance at which a potential place would be. So 63rd, kind of that maintaining that station area and just placing the station. Same with Bass Lake Road and Crystal. And then in Robinsdale, it's a little bit further from our previous station locations, but still very much the goal of serving downtown Robinsdale and the vibrant business district there, as well as some of the denser residential that is in development. This bigger station block circle or oval is the main driver destination is North Memorial Hospital. And kind of round 1 of the project, serving North Memorial, was what we heard the most about as a missed opportunity. So definitely want to, and as we asked the community where they wanted to go, serving North Memorial was the most mentioned thing. I won't go into super detail for the Minneapolis area, because that's probably not why many of you are here today. But just for reference, we're placing some stations on whether it's Lowry or the West Broadway route on Penn or in the Fremont Emerson area, as well as a couple options as we get into our downtown areas. So going from here, kind of how are we going to evaluate these areas and actually place stations? So it's kind of what best meets our project goals. They have to do with like not causing property impacts, reaching the most people, just improving transit, what we hear from the public and conversations like this today, kind of the engineering requirements. How does that fit? How does that all work? Some places are easy to place stations. For others, there's a lot of geometry and things to consider. Obviously, trying to reach what reaches people the best, if we can place stations to better serve people. Available right away speaks to our project principles, kind of if there's an option between placing a station that doesn't have a big impact and one that does, that's something that we'd look at. And does it serve the people of today, and will it serve the people of tomorrow? So the existing and future land uses. The more people that live or work by our stations, the better this line can serve our region. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Nick Landwehr, who, if I forgot to give his title before, he leads our design and engineering, and he can walk us through the Lrt visualizations.
Okay, well, thank you, Sophia. And as we get into this presentation, I just want to remind people, well, we pulled together these visualizations back in March. We came out with route alignments to show where the potential routes were that we're evaluating and looking for to move forward into design. And so a lot of folks said, well, we need to see what this looks like. So we prepared these visualizations to show the context of how the LRT could fit within these corridors and what the impacts are. And so as a reminder to folks that are tuning in here, these are very preliminary. Our design is very preliminary. We're way back, other than up in Brooklyn Park, where on our previous slides where Sophia showed the station stay, we were on West Broadway. That was at 90% design. It's not impacted by the railroad. So, you know, those would continue, that alignment continues. But as we get far south of 73rd, going down County Road 81, we are looking at a new alignment. We're back towards the beginning of the design in that area. So what we've rendered is based on about a 5% design, let's say. And they're really just to graphically show how a light rail can fit within these corridors and what its impacts are. We didn't spend a lot of time on a lot of the detail on these slides, so you'll notice on some of them they're not very detailed in landscaping or hardscaping or a lot of amenities. It's really just to show the impacts of the roadway, the guideway for the light rail and trails along here. So as we start up in Crystal, we'll start at the north and work our way south here. Crystal design considerations. So what we're showing here is as we're proposing a center running at grade railroad on County Road 81. So it's running down the middle of the lanes that are out there today. It's at grade, and we feel this operates the best with the existing traffic. It moves with traffic and not counter to it. It's the most convenient for our customers to access. So it's more of a direct connection, not having to go up or down or around to try to get to a station. County Road 81 in this section from Highway 100 north is a 6-lane roadway now. And what we're proposing is to continue to dedicate 4 of those lanes of the 6-lane roadway to vehicle traffic, and then the inner 2 lanes would be dedicated to the light rail guideway through here. We are evaluating how the traffic, analyzing traffic capacity along those to make sure that we're maintaining adequate capacity and we can keep traffic flowing, and we're looking at what the impacts are to intersections to make sure that we maintain an acceptable level of service at all the intersections and they remain functional. So Bass Lake Road is one of those intersections that we're looking at. It's a key one where there is a lot of traffic going through there, and we're paying a lot of attention on how we make that operate efficiently. So these are the visualizations we were talking about. This is an existing condition. So on the graphic you see here in the upper right-hand corner is a picture of the roadway in that area. So you can see that this is what the existing is. In the middle area, this is that existing. We rendered based on the dimensions that are out there on plans what that roadway looks like. And then on the left-hand side is a depiction of where it is along the alignment. So you can see that we're up by the Crystal Airport on County Road 81. So there is a narrow median in the middle here. There's 6 lanes of traffic, so 3 lanes in each direction. We have a small boulevard on the east side of the alignment, and then there's a frontage road there. And then on the outside of the frontage road, there's a trail along that airport, and the airport is just off to the right of this view. So we'll go to the next slide and look at what the impacts are. So this shows again the center running at grade light rail. So this is the guideway in the middle. We're able to maintain 2 of those lanes of traffic on either side of the guideway. Maintain that boulevard on the east side. We continue to maintain the frontage road through here and the trail that's on that east side of it. And one thing to note here is as we're going down the middle of these alignments, we with the guideway in here, we can pretty much maintain the guideway and those 2 lanes of traffic in each direction within the existing curb line that's out there. So that puts some context of how this fits within the existing conditions. Next slide, please. We're going to move down a little bit farther here, and you'll see again we're in the mid area. Again, we're just off to the top of this screen. The existing condition is Bass Lake Road, so that would be the horizon that we see there. We're looking north here, and again, this is more of a commercial area, so we have commercial on both sides of it with some parking that comes up to it. On the west side of the road here, we have a frontage road getting to those businesses on the west side. 6 lanes of traffic, so 3 in each direction here. A little bit wider median in this area, and then on both sides you can see that there's trails that to accommodate pets and bikes. So this is the impact with the center running light rail at grade here again. So we continue to maintain four lanes of traffic, 2 lanes in each direction. We're able to maintain the trails on the outside, and we are also able to maintain the frontage road that's on the west side, and very to minimal impacts to the businesses along here in this rendering. A little bit farther south in Crystal, a little bit just north of Highway 100 area. It's a little bit more residential in here. It's residential on both sides. So with this, we have a trail on either side of the roadway, 6 lanes of traffic, a pretty good boulevard on each side, a good boulevard, a good median, center median in this area. And then on the east side, there's a frontage road here. And with the concept that we're showing here, this again is a center running light rail at grade. We're able to maintain those 4 lanes of traffic in here pretty much as in the previous 2, maintain those existing curb lines that are out there today, maintain the trails on the outside on that frontage road. So moving a little bit farther south down into Robinsdale. So some of the design considerations as we get into Robinsdale, a little bit, it's more commercial in Robinsdale. It's more their downtown area. So we want to confirm that center running at grade on County Road 81 it works well and is compatible with how that downtown area operates. We want to maintain those existing intersections. So, in particular, the intersections at 42nd, 41st, and 40th, and 36th and 35th that are in Robinsdale. So maintain the full function of those and access through those. And then we want to really focus on safe pedestrian crossings and that pedestrian environment. One of the things that we're hearing from folks is there's a concern that the light rail could divide up the community and make it less safe. And what we want to do is focus on making it pedestrian friendly to get to either side of County Road 81 in this downtown area, to provide safe pedestrian access for the crossings, but to get our customers to and from stations safely and efficiently. Again, on these, I want to remind that there's a lot of design details that we need to continue working on as these plans develop. And when we get into more of an engineering phase, then we'll focus on the details, not only just the roadway and guideways and utilities, but we'll also look at landscaping and streetscaping and how that fits within project. So this is downtown Robinsdale. This is just south of 41st Avenue, where the picture would be standing above 40th Avenue looking north. You can see on the left-hand side of the screen is town center with the retaining wall on that side. There's parking above that retaining wall. We know that there's parking below that also. There's a trail or sidewalk on either side of the roadway here. We have a median in this location, and there's 2 lanes of traffic in each direction. So it's a 4-lane road here existing. And this also shows the turn lane movements as we're going to 41st in that intersection. And then on the right-hand side of the screen is Robbins Center, that parking lot that's showing in that location for the business there. So as we come down into the concept for the center running at grade, we're able to maintain the trails on either side. So in this location, we're holding that wall line at town center. Depending on how grades work through here, we need to flatten things out a little bit for the trains so we get a decent grade. That we may need to reconstruct the wall there that's on the left side or west side of the screen. But we held that line as we're to keep the roadway, so we're able to maintain the pedestrian, the sidewalk on that side of the road, the 2 lanes of traffic in each direction, and the functions at that intersection, the left and right hand turn lanes. On the right side, or which would be the east side of the screen, we maintain that pedestrian trail on that side also. There is some encroachment into the parking lot ride for Robbins Center, and that's something that, if we have impacts on properties, we'll work with property owners to mitigate for that work and see what we can do to help out or replace that parking as we go through. One of the things that's been asked from us is, would it work? Would it be more efficient if we went on a structure through here? And so we were asked to take a look at what a bridge would do through this area. And some of the questions that we ask, if usually when you put in a bridge, you're trying to address a physical or geographical issue, a river crossing or going over a highway, or some substantial grade differences here. But again, with the center running light rail, that light rail is running with traffic, so it really the train itself doesn't impact the intersections or those intersection operations that much. So, but one of the things that we're asked to do is take a look at what a structure would look like, and this structure could be along the whole alignment also. But as we can see here, even if we put the train up there, we still need a guideway out there. That guideway is about 28 to 30 feet wide. It would continue to need to be about 28 to 30 feet wide, even if it was up in the air. And so those are the impacts putting it up there. What we did find, though, is with the geometry of where you need to place the columns to hold the bridge up in place, and how they're placed, and crossing intersections, and again with turn lanes, that a bridge really doesn't save us a lot of room on the roadway. It doesn't get us back a lot of space here, maybe a couple feet here and there, but it's not a substantial difference from what has to be there, to protect those columns, to give them some clear zone, and with left turns and those left turn shadows that increase the median size. I'm going to move a little bit farther south here in Robinsdale. This is at Crystal Lake. So in this condition, towards the top of the screen on the right-hand side, there's that little slip ramp to a frontage road on that side. There's pretty good boulevard on either side of the road. Again, 4 lanes of traffic, so 2 lanes in each direction, and a pretty good size center median out there now. In this condition, there's the little frontage road to the parking lot for the park at Crystal Lake, and shown in here. So let's move to the next slide, please. And this is the concept of how the light rail will fit in there. So use a little bit of the space in the boulevards. We use that median space for the guideway in there. We're able to maintain the 4 lanes of traffic through here. We're able to maintain those frontage roads on either side and the parking over there also. Again, moving a little bit farther south as we move towards what Sophia brought up as a potential destination at North Memorial. This is right around that North Memorial area, looking to the north again. So we have frontage roads on either side of County Road 81 at this location. There's trails and sidewalks on either side of those. We have pretty decent boulevard on either side between those frontage roads and County Road 81, and a pretty good sized median. We have 4 lanes of traffic there today. So if we go to that concept, we're able to maintain those 4 lanes of traffic through there. We're able to maintain the frontage roads on either side, and showing in this condition, we're able to maintain the boulevards on either side, as well as the pedestrian and bike facilities for the sidewalk and the trails. So again, we'll take some questions here, but one of the initiatives that we're working on here as we're rolling out our project design is we want to make sure that we're building community wealth within the communities as we're coming forward with the project. We've heard of concerns about anti-displacement from a project, whether it's economically or if the impacts of the project. So our project is forming an anti-displacement working group that'll be working parallel with the project to help address some of those needs and issues that we're hearing from the community. So we want to make sure that we're developing and implementing comprehensive initiatives and strategies to help with that well building. We want to ensure that the investment build of the project builds on and supports the existing community and assets that are there. We want to make sure that we're benefiting the existing corridor residents, and this isn't just for folks in the future. It's for the folks that are living here now that will be living there through construction and to opening. I want to provide more opportunities for equitable housing, employment, businesses, development, cultural experiences, and other day-to-day life activities. So we want to make sure that, knowing that as we're constructing a project, there are impacts to the community, but we want to make those benefits. We want to benefit the community with that construction and with those impacts. So right now, we're going out for a facilitator for this anti-displacement group that will help put together their charge and how they will operate and how they'll work with the project. Proposals came in on the 27th, so 2 days ago. 3 proposals have been received, and those are being evaluated right now as we move forward. So that's a key initiative as we're rolling out this project to get going. So as we're looking for questions, if anybody's interested, if you want to raise your hand and we can bring you in, or if you want to type in the chat, that's great. But there's also an opportunity to stay connected with the project right now through our project website. We have interactive maps. You can go in there and comment on the maps and let us know what you think, and comments, leave comments out there. You can sign up for Gov Delivery project updates, and always reach out to the project staff for any questions on what we're doing, how we're going about things, or if you would like us to schedule a presentation and work with the group you might have. And then there's some links to our Twitter account and Facebook there also. So with that, I will open up for questions if there are any.
Thanks, Nick. Don't see any questions in chat yet, so I'll just kind of emphasize some stuff as folks are thinking about what they might want to ask. And for anybody that is maybe watching this presentation online after the event itself, and want to provide comment, our interactive map is live online and has many of the images that you saw today, as well as our station study areas. We'd really like to receive feedback on our station study areas. Are they in the right places? Does it feel like there's the right number? Are there things that we should consider as we place them specifically? Outreach staff and project staff are willing to come to you. So if you have an event within your community that you would like us to attend and talk with you more, we'd be more than happy to do so. And as the project develops, we will put updates on our social media and of course on our project newsletter. So follow, sign up, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, so that you get the most up-to-date information as we move through the project. Okay, well, not seeing any questions. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. And we look forward to continuing to develop this LRT system with you. Nick, any final comments?
Oh, no, I just appreciate anybody that's listening in here, and sometimes they let us engineering folks out to talk to the community also, so we're always happy to talk with you also.
Okay, good night, everyone.